There is a secret version of Minecraft that Microsoft doesn't want you to play. In fact, the weirder thing about this is it's the only version of Minecraft that has microtransactions but doesn't have minecoins. There's a secret second currency involved, and the reason behind both of these things and the other weird intricacies relate to Minecraft's weird relationship with Sony, because this is what the Minecraft Bedrock menu screen looks like, and this is what the Minecraft Bedrock menu screen looks like on PlayStation if you own the game before this state. You will find there is a secret menu button. I mean, it's not secret if you have this version, it's one of the 4 options you have, but if you press it, something very interesting happens, because you'll be able to launch an old version of Minecraft that is not being updated. They give you one last warning not to open it, but if you press yes, what happens is Minecraft itself closes down and it launches a secret second version. It is not like a second loader, it's not like a skin on Minecraft, it's literally made by a different studio from Scotland, interestingly, and it looks like this. It has a different logo, its whole own menu screen, and then the ability to go back, and it's like, yeah, the new Minecraft is the good one. You definitely want to go back there, trust us. This is the only version of Minecraft which specifically advertises another version of Minecraft, which it would much rather you play, but it's also one of the weirdest and, in my opinion, greatest games that Minecraft has ever put out there, and the fact that they hide it is a great shame, and let me show you why. Because first things first, wow, isn't it interesting that you can play all these mini games built in, even when you're offline, just with friends on split screen? That's pretty great, in my opinion. You could also play it by yourself if you really want to. There is genuinely solo mini games in this version, so if you want to go flying, just load up into the good old-fashioned mini game lobby, vote for your map. You'll be the only vote that's around there, of course, and then you can play some good old-fashioned classics, which we'll do today. Making a minigame where you have to fly the Elytra is one of the smartest things Minecraft's ever done, but they've never replicated it anywhere outside of this game. It's a shame this is only in a version of the game they'd much rather you didn't play, for reasons that will become very apparent in this video, but it's such a genius idea, and it's almost a wasted idea for them to put that in this game right here. But yeah, this is Glide. I have to mention the minigames at least once, but I have many other videos on my channel where I've spoken specifically about console edition minigames, because this was shared with all of these editions right here. The Wii U edition is the funniest one, but you know, if you've played any one of the Minecraft console editions, you're very familiar with this, and it's a very beautiful game. Look, it even has lives, so you can hit the walls, but only a few times if you want to, and there we go, we crashed and we're dead, and it's automatic. It's also clever, it's also great, but you know what else is clever and great? This version of the game was also genius for its very UI and menu in which you create the world. Have you seen the way you create a new world in Minecraft Java? After literally, 14 years of designing, this is the menu screen they came up with. Minecraft Bedrock has a whole team designed for making the menu more usable, and this is what they came up with. But on the console, it's so easy. Your texture packs are right here. You can scroll through them, see what they look like. Your difficulties here, it's like a bar, so you can see the options relative to each other. The game mode, again, you can see that. It's a fun little thing. You've got all these options just as little ticks that are all in the right places by default if you want them to be that way, but it's so easy to play a world, and it's also so easy to customize your world. And so if you want to make a world that's entirely gravel blocks, and I mean entirely gravel blocks, like if you were to break a block, well, you find out why you shouldn't do that quite quickly, I think. But you can make a world that is purely gravel blocks, and they'll float in the sky until the block updates slowly start to take a bigger and bigger chunk of your world out bit by bit. And then around here, there are villages as well. You know the Superflat survival challenge that's oh so fun because it's surviving in a world of just grass? Imagine surviving in a world of just gravel, except you actually have structures. It's so interesting because you can actually beat Minecraft in these weird challenges. Look over there. I want to do this. I want to go back to PS4 and beat this right now. But it's not just making weird game modes with floating gravel that slowly but surely expands and eats up your world, but you can actually customize the way Minecraft itself would make the world. So you can have a large world size if you want to have that infinite sense of exploration, but you can also have something called a classic world size, what the Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3 could render, and you can pick the biome scale. So you can have super small biomes on a tiny world, or you can have super large biomes on a very large world, or you can go for any scale in between. You had customization, generate structures, bonus chests, you had customization options which have just not been found since. No Minecraft version has all of these options together, except the edition, which they specifically would rather you not play and will not give you access to if you hadn't bought Minecraft before the date. That is exactly the same case on a Nintendo Switch, if you're noticing something similar here. But yeah, I want to show you something great, which is the classic world size and small biome scale. This makes for a really fun world. We won't even leave, we'll leave the seed blank because that's how we get a random seed. That's what Minecraft does on every version, only this edition was labeling that to people. I don't know why, there's so much usability that is only found in this version, and so it means that we can load into a brand new world. We'll call this DualShock Battery Fall Low. I mean, it's a pretty iconic name for a world, and we'll put it on hard difficulty, because why not, right? And let's see, actually, you know what, should we put a texture pack on it? The Toy Story mashup pack? You know what, go on then. No, I think I like using default. Wait, actually, we could use the classic texture pack if we want to. Want to go a little bit more old school? You know what, go on then, let's do it. See how easy that was? Every other edition makes it a whole ball ache if you want to use this. This is literally there next to your default. And so let's play with some classic textures in a classic world in the PlayStation 4 edition. So this world is actually a little ocean heavy for my liking. I mean, you can see we got some good variety. There's an ocean monument, we've got some floating savannas, we've got a lovely desert, and then I think that's a birch forest on top of that mountain. I can't really be sure, but isn't this amazing? The number of options you have at spawn, even if you don't think this is great for a long-term world, just the idea that you can do this for a challenge, and it's built into the game, and so it's very easy to do, is something so many players miss now that they don't have access to it. Because again, not only is it people who bought the game after this date that won't do that, but in reality, if you want Minecraft updates, they deliberately withheld them from any version that wasn't the Bedrock version. There's some fun reasons as to why, but you know, like the overall gist of it is this version of the game is great, but this version of the game is from that time period. There are some features in modern day Minecraft you might be missing, most notably, obviously, the Nether. But yeah, if I just go to the top of this mountain, I'll be able to show you more. I probably shouldn't have combined Amplified and those other settings, because now we have to get a surprising number of blocks, but it's still. Wow, look at that. There's a forest here as well as a mountain, so we get alpacas, we get these spruce trees. This isn't a spruce tree, but those are spruce trees, and we get the birch trees, and we get the oak trees. It's an amazing combination of stuff you can find in one place here, and yeah, for a survival world, this is great. I mean, look at all the mobs, it's wonderful. It's a baby llama here. What more do you need in your life? But yeah, this is not only great for the casual survival player, but it's also just great for anyone who wants to make a world where you do need stuff from different places. It's nice to know that if I want a savannah, there's one just over there. Even if there isn't something in my existing size world, it's really easy to change that later. There's a world size increase option. And ultimately, I think this version of the game does a lot of things right as far as other settings for survival are concerned. I mean, the crafting menu is a great example of that. Because when it comes to crafting, I think this is the most user-friendly system that Minecraft has developed for what is effectively auto-crafting. Instead of saying, how would you like to combine your pieces together, it says, you know, you've got all these pieces, what would you like to do with them? And honestly, there's a lot of options, but I think they're well categorized. I admit, this might be just my personal bias, like this is the Minecraft I'm used to, so maybe I think this is great, but still, it is something that is absolutely wonderful. Also, look at that, the sun's still going down. It's got that last little glow as it goes below the sunset. Isn't that nice? But I would like it to be daytime. It'd be cool if there was an option to set that using a single button from just a little pause menu. Obviously, this is the equivalent of turning on cheats for Minecraft Bedrock, but it's still pretty darn cool. And so yeah, we can now make ourselves, you know, we can use our wooden pickaxe to mine some stone, go up a tier, etc. You will know how this works, but it's so wonderful to me that you, unlike Bedrock, where the crafting is always moving around, unlike Java, where you have to finish the recipe manually anyway, if you just know, for example, I always know to get to a stone pickaxe, you just go one tab to the right, one down, and then it's made. If you can have muscle memory for crafting in a way that for some reason both Bedrock and Java have forgotten about. I think that one of the cool things about this edition of the game is it's clearly made by people who play games. They play Minecraft a bunch, I would imagine. It was their job to make it for several years, but this was made by people who thought to themselves, which of these gaming problems can we solve and how? A great example of that is actually if we move into creative, because I do want to do this for a little while, but I do have to show off creative as well, because survival is wonderful. I think crafting is great. I think all your world options are great. I think you have so much you can do within Minecraft survival. I mean, if you weren't aware of what to do, it'd be handy if there was a way to learn about that. Oh, what's that? Is there a tutorial button that I just saw right there? Oh, I wonder what that does. Oh, I guess it explains the game to you in a nice, easy way if you want it, unlike Minecraft Java, which has no tutorial, and unlike Minecraft Bedrock, which insists that the way a tutorial should work is be some weird menu screens in the corner that give you a bunch of text. Yeah, Minecraft's average demographic, especially a Minecraft on an Android or iPhone, yeah, the average demographic is gonna love reading through menus. That's how you learn about a game. No, this is how you learn about a game. You see it, you play it, and it tells you what to do, and once you've done it, you can move on to the next phase of the tutorial, which it does with your native buttons because it's designed for the console you're actually on. What a genius idea! Genius! In fact, it's not just genius because of this, by the way. It's genius because this tutorial would change every single update, and so as you can see, it just showed off how fireworks worked, and also, by the way, the world got better and better every single update. This is the OG tutorial world that, if you remember, you get a veterans discount for, but this is the tutorial world that we have right now, and, or rather, we had at the latest time of update. It doesn't change anymore. This is the final tutorial world, and it's beautiful. It's honestly, it's a testament to how much not only has Minecraft changed in that time, it teaches you about melons and pumpkins and all these different things now, but it also, like, you can see the building skill of the people behind Minecraft. They hired people with arts degrees, you know, from, I believe it's called Abertay University, the one in Dundee. They hired people from the local university who had art degrees to make Minecraft things for them, and honestly, the results are incredible. Like, you know, there's some Minecraft tips that are like so prevalent now, but for 2012 to 2016, it's nuts what they could pull off. I really do have to say, the latest Minecraft tutorial is just, it's a masterpiece. I really, I think that is not an over-exaggeration. The fact that this world comes bundled with Minecraft so you can learn about stuff, but also so you can see what's possible in this game. It's a sandbox. You can build exactly what you're seeing right here if you really want to. Isn't that cool? Don't you want a couple of statues of Alex and Steve? They're so simple, but yet they convey that that is Steve and that is Alex. I don't even know how. It's nuts. I love this. But also, while we're here anyway in the tutorial, we're also in creative mode, right? Creative mode has a lot of clever things, one of which being fast flying. If you're flying in creative, it knows you want to go somewhere quickly. Java and Bedrock just behind on this regard. Like, again, the Minecraft should assume that if you're flying in creative, you have somewhere to be. If you wanted to get there slowly, if you wanted to get there just above walking pace, you know what you'd do? You'd go into the ground and you could sprint there manually. Again, just such a simple, like, you know, change. Up the speed of which you fly would change so much about Minecraft, but also this exact same thing. There's this creative menu. I'm not in love with this. I do think it's better, but I think, again, this is a personal bias that this is the system I'm used to. I won't try and claim that the creative menu is better, but what I will definitely claim is that it does do a good job of distinguishing the categories, like, definitively, right? There's no confusion about, you know, like, where obsidian is. Is it a building block or is it a nature block? It's a block. It's in the block category. It's a fairly big category because of all the updates, but, like, everything's relatively well located. And when you go to place those blocks down, maybe you're making a giant monument to Minecraft's worst ever use of democracy. You know what happens if you want to make a long row side to side? The game knows that you're probably pushing a direction like this, and so if you just hold down the place button, that's right mouse click on the on a keyboard and mouse, and that is left bumper on a controller, you can move to the right, and actually that was quite weird. There happened to be something there. But let me show you a better example of that. If I want to build on top of here, I move to the right, and the blocks know that I want to place them on top of the previous ones. I don't know why this doesn't work seamlessly on a controller option for either Java or Bedrock, but it doesn't. It's so easy to make, you know, again, like, even if you want to do the same but upwards, you hold down the block place button, then you move yourself, and it knows that it should keep placing blocks the entire way because you're holding down the button. There's so many simple touches that you can tell, like, a developer was sitting there like, oh, yeah, this is what people are usually doing in creative. They're placing blocks in you know, sometimes they're doing individual blocks, in which case they press it, but if they hold it, that's a different function. Whereas the way that, you know, Minecraft, Java, and Bedrock treat holding is like, yeah, it's like you're just pressing it every single time you can be, but that leads to all sorts of issues, which don't happen when you treat the hold like it's different to a click. If you really want to, you can do it like this too, where it just kind of follows you in a line, but the fact that it's making an actual line to follow and not a bunch of random blocks is beautiful. I mean, you can use that for so many interesting things, and it appears to have become nighttime again. Let's go to sleep, shall we? There's only one valid way to go to sleep in Minecraft, and if you don't agree with that, I don't agree with you. I'm just saying. The beds do look different in this version, but that's a weird difference. Also, I feel like, you know, like there's a few weird quirks of sleeping that I've used in my creative world to make all sorts of fun builds. But yeah, what's great about this edition otherwise? Well, I mentioned multiplayer is great. If you want to invite someone to the game, it's really easy. It's just the game is open. You invite your PlayStation friends. I don't have any I don't have any friends, let's be honest, that I want to play Minecraft with. And so, yeah, but if you want to have someone who's local there, you know, you can you can add them to the game very easily. Console split screen, easily the best split screen. Another great thing this version of Minecraft did is it managed to maintain smooth frame rates for 99% of its life, and at full 1080p resolution, which doesn't sound like a big deal until you play Minecraft on any modern, you know, update on relatively modern hardware and realize how much your frame rate will drop. One of the biggest struggles they had in porting this game to consoles, where there are stricter requirements, is working out how do you make a game which is so variable. Like this, there's no way to know exactly what's happening at a given point in time. You know, is there going to be one pick there, or is there going to be a lot? You don't know for sure. So they have certain caps for mobs, as you can see. Clever little detail to make the game run a little better. Nowadays, they've kind of breached those rules. Because here's the thing, Minecraft used to be all about, the rules for making console games used to be you have to make it run smooth. You can't have it just drop frames all the time. That looks terrible. But Minecraft actually is like one of the vanguard of new games that says, actually, you know, what are frame rates on consoles? They're what we want them to be. If it drops to 5 FPS, as it will quite frequently, that's fine. And yeah, the best change of all, this is one, a few people have, you know, one of my oldest update videos went semi-viral a while ago because people found this feature from old Minecraft and they're like, isn't this great? Look at the speed that minecarts go. Again, it's a tiny change, but it's just the detail to think like, yeah, if you're in a minecart, you want to go places fast. It's a little bit jarring if you're used to Bedrock or Java minecarts, but there's a whole minecart going around this world with fun little redstone things activated, and it's like, why wouldn't it go fast? Why wouldn't you give people the option to have a higher top speed? If you don't want to go fast, just don't use powered rails like this. Honestly, that was kind of nuts, right? That was actually pretty insane. But yeah, the fact that it has so many little touches is just something I absolutely love. So how is it that there's a version of the game built by an independent studio that Mojang themselves hired to make? How is it that they then discarded years and years of work that they put into making this, including all sorts of exclusive features which haven't found their way elsewhere? I mean, I've gone for all the ones I just mentioned, but like, here's a fun list of some more if you want. So how is it that this got discarded? And the brief history of that is, well, did you know that Mojang hired, you know, a rather, honestly, the actual, as I understand it, since then, is the actual conversation was genuinely between Notch himself and various studios about like, well, who is best to make Minecraft for consoles? Clearly, this is one of the biggest, most successful indie games of all time. How do we get it to a console market? And so, you know, Mojang themselves did pull the trigger on saying, yes, we want these people to bring our vision to console, and they did a very good job. Again, in some ways, genuinely improving upon the original. Like, this is probably what you're used to now, but this end fight actually debuted first on console. They looked at the Java end and said, actually, that wouldn't be as fun for players, and they made a better end that looked like this, which then later made its way into the Java edition, which was then the inspiration for the Bedrock port. It was the console version which made the Glide minigame, which again has not featured in any official first-party thing, as well as Battle, by the way, and Tumble. There's so many of these unique little features. Leaderboards, you can compete with your friends. I mean, I can't compete with my friends because I need to update the application, apparently. But you can compete with your friends over who has mined the most sugarcane. The inspiration for my insane sugarcane farm is because of that. But how did that happen? Why did Mojang hire a studio, and then Mojang hired that same studio to shut down their game and replace it with a, maybe, you know, a less stable one actually less built for consoles? That's not a criticism, that is the fact. Minecraft Bedrock is not built for consoles, it's built for all Minecraft, it's a universal Windows platform game. It's built for all universal, can't be Windows platform. It's a UWP app. It is designed to run on everything, and so it runs on iPhones and Androids and iPads and all forms of tablets and Fire OS and your TV, for God's sake, as well as all of the consoles, as well as your smart fridge, as well as you know, Windows. It runs on all of those things, and in the process, they sacrifice some specifics about each platform. I mean, again, this game was designed specifically to get the most out of PS4, whereas the Bedrock, the edition that replaced this, was just a generic version which wasn't designed for that. So why did it get replaced? there's two reasons. One is the corporate thing. I mean, if you're, if you're running something at a corporation, the way your success is measured is how many big projects you deliver. And imagine being the person who goes, yeah, I made Minecraft unified across all devices. Ignore the specifics about how we did that on different devices. Just let's say this is a really cool thing, and if you say that, wow, isn't that amazing? But the second angle is also, sadly, the profitability angle. Minecraft would like to have, the one edition of the game be standardized. They don't want there to be a unique PlayStation-only version, but also specifically, the version of the game they standardized just so happens to be one with microtransactions. It's a crazy coincidence. By the way, there's exit without saving, which I absolutely love. The Minecraft store had much more reasonable prices. Also, you can switch to old crafting. Also, there's a bunch of unique mashup packs where, 4J Studios went out and spoke to various companies, including, Toy Story. That's Disney. They got in touch with Disney and then used those very same art graduates that I mentioned before to make a whole Toy Story world in Minecraft. And you might think like, well, that's crazy. It's like the marketplace. But like, no, you can fly around this for free. If you want to pay for this, you can make different world saves, you can use the texture packs in different ways, but like, this is something that anyone can open for free. There was the most generous DLC policy, even though Java, like, they don't charge you for maps, like, they don't give you any maps unless you pay them money. This was a system where it's like, yeah, have the map for free, and if you like it, you can buy it later if you want to save, if you want to customize it in any way. That's crazy, look at this. It's playing copyrighted music that I have to mute, I guess, now Pigstep is playing, isn't that better? But like, it's crazy. They made this happen, and the reason that was replaced is, like I said, microtransactions, which brings us into the other version of Minecraft, the one it's so keen for you to jump back to, because this is the standardized version of Minecraft. If you play Minecraft on any device that isn't the Java edition or, an old 3DS, or like a Wii U or something. If you're playing Minecraft on any modern device, this is what you see, right? It is the standardized thing, maybe minus the menu, and also minus one other detail. Because getting this onto the PlayStation 4 was a real uphill struggle. Better Together released on this date for Minecraft Xbox One. It released on this date for the Nintendo Switch. A little bit later because they had to refine some things, and it launched on this date for the PlayStation because ultimately this is a Sony game that requires you to sign in with your Microsoft account. That is not a normal thing. By the way, my Microsoft account just never linked, so I can't do it. I have a Microsoft account, but it never lets me actually log into it. And then, interestingly enough, it's also going to require you to have a store filled with those same microtransactions. But here was the rub that Sony was not happy with, and this is something they had to make a weird compromise for. Well, apparently my internet's not working. Okay, we're gonna have to add it in post. But there's a special version of the Minecraft store only available here, which uses something called tokens instead of minecoins. This is to circumvent you buying a bunch of minecoins on your Xbox device, or maybe your phone, or a Windows device, and then spending them on the PlayStation. Sony wants it so that if you spend money on the PlayStation, they are getting their cut every single time. And that is a weird system, which they're basically, they've replaced minecoins with tokens, which are added to your Microsoft account, but only spendable on the PlayStation, which might not sound bad enough by itself. Like, okay, well, if you're gonna buy things over here, make sure you add the tokens. But here's the deal. Minecoins are specifically set up so you'll always have some left over. It's the Microsoft point, like scandal all over again. Like, oh, you can buy minecoins, but they happen to be in the wrong intervals to buy maps. Guess you'll have to buy more maps and then buy more minecoins and then buy more maps. You'll never spend them. Ha ha ha. So, can you tell I'm upset about the whole set? But anyway, so now you have those leftover minecoins and you have leftover tokens, and there's no way to combine those two balances, which is kind of crazy by itself. But this version of the game is unique not only because it has that, also because it has servers, of course, and that's wonderful. And you can join friends from any other platform now, which is great. Look at that. There's PlayStation Network friends, then there's cross-platform friends. It's a very unique version of the game, but also because it has this. You know that Toy Story world I just loaded up seconds ago? Well, after a little conversion, and oh god, is that 114 megabytes of world size, and then a little generating with the slightly slower Minecraft Bedrock load times, I'm sure it'll load eventually. Wow, here we are in that exact same Toy Story mashup world, but we're here on the Bedrock edition. You can immediately spot a few different things. I mean, we're flying around a bit slower. You can immediately spot that if, just to show you the other side of this, by the way. Look, here is a block of stone bricks. Let's place these along the side here, and they stopped. Okay, let's place it on the side there, and it stopped. Let's place it sideways again, and it stopped after 2 that time. Let's place a big stack upwards, shall we? Okay, this lines up quite nicely. This is very nice. But if we want to make, say, a heart shape on the ground, let's just spam that as we go, and it doesn't work. You have to manually press it individually each time, or it assumes that you're done after placing it. It's very, very odd. Again, if there were developers who played games with controllers, there would be someone who raised this as an issue by now. But again, controllers aren't the way. Oh, there we go. Whoa! Look how long this one's going for. Eventually it works. Okay, that's nice. You see that? That's good. Okay, well, I mean, it was good. That was a nice long stretch, though. Again, it just... The game is not optimized for a controller, which, obviously, when you're talking about a console which is 99% played by people with controllers, a little bit of a weird thing. By the way, I love that they've got a fence to the outside of the world, and then just the Bedrock world generates here. Every world you convert from PS4 Edition becomes instantly infinite, which leads to some very interesting terrain points. Like, there's a ruined portal just outside of this guy's house. You know, absolutely beautiful, I have to say. These worlds, to me, are the pinnacle of what you can build and do, and it's really nice to see them. Here on Bedrock, it does look, I'll be honest, part of me says it looks a bit better, right? It's the same texture pack, it's the same world, it's the same everything, but there's some nice details. There's more bugs, but that's the ultimate trade-off you get with Bedrock. You get a weird currency, which can't be used with your other currency. You get a weird online system that involves making a Microsoft account for your PlayStation account to link to. You get a really weird edition of the game, which is not built for a controller, but ultimately you do get the updates and you do get everything else. I think the lesson from this whole story should be that if, you know, Sony wants to make, that if Microsoft really wants to make a brand new game to replace an existing one, just make it better first. Just make it so that everyone would say it is better, and so there would be no controversy in switching it over. I think that should have been the obvious first port of call. But again, I think there's a lesson here about how corporations work and how, like, again, lots of people inside that corporation were very hyped about, like, yeah, we could just switch it over now. There's basically nothing that we have to change. Like, everything is already ready, and then the issues that have been dealt with for years afterwards are the result of someone who wasn't necessarily familiar with the subject matter, or maybe they were, and they were just overly optimistic. But in either case, it's something I'd really like to see potentially fixed in the future. It's not something you can really fix on an individual level, but if you are watching this video and you're from the mystical future, all I can say is that in general, even the biggest of messes do eventually get better. Sometimes they get better because they get better, sometimes you get more used to them, but ultimately, the overall trend is that things do improve. But there is still a lesson to be learned, and you can always learn from your mistakes. You can always make things better, and hopefully, you choose to do precisely that. Is there a room of nothing in here? Oh no, there's like a little outside section. That's fun. But yeah, hopefully, you can learn from these things, and you can choose to do better, or you can not. Oh, look at that. There's a little fox plushes over here. Isn't that adorable? Speaking of things that are adorable, I think it's adorable if you subscribe to this channel. If you like Minecraft console stuff, obviously, I still focus on Minecraft console, just the new version of the game. And I really appreciate the subscription, because after all these years, it is still one of the coolest communities that I get to interact with on a regular basis. So many of the best builders that have gone on to, you know, become marketplace teams or gone on to make various things have come from the console edition. It is one of the greatest communities out there, and it's been, over the years, it's been such an honor to interact with so many of you. And so thank you for joining me on this little bit of a video to summarize the situation very, very briefly. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Oh, also, actually, I didn't mention this. One of the cool things about PlayStation 4 is not only can you take your PS4 saves to Bedrock from here, you can take your PS3 saves to your PS4, and you can take your PS Vita and your PS3 saves onto, basically, you know, like Harrison, the editor of this video, he has the world's biggest Minecraft collection. These editions over here can link into this Minecraft edition over here, and then that edition can link into your Bedrock, which is all of these other ones. It's pretty cool, the systems they set up before this, like, universal Minecraft account thing. And I like that personally. I love innovative problem solving, and that's what Minecraft Console Edition had, and that's what I think a lot of Minecraft Console Edition players have. And so, yeah, isn't that cool? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Either way, thank you for watching, and I hope that I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.